Senator Price.
Well, g'day everyone. Last year, of course, we had a referendum on whether to change the Constitution by establishing a body known as The Voice. It was sold as a way of Indigenous Australians being given a voice, as the body could make representations to government about Indigenous matters. But if it was successful, this body would permanently divide our nation on the basis of race. In Australia and in New Zealand, where Indigenous people are somehow treated differently and are often encouraged to depend on welfare, rather than to become economically independent and stand on their own 2 feet. We're also dealing with a rise in activism, often by people who are somewhat removed from the actual project, but who seek to use Indigenous issues as a way of achieving their anti-development agendas. Thankfully, one thing that doesn't need reforming in Australia is The Voice. Because I'm sure, as you're all aware, it wasn't ultimately successful. It was rejected by Australians at an average rate of 60%. And I was privileged to be at the forefront of the No campaign, leading a grassroots movement of Aussies who didn't want to see Australia divided by race. One of the biggest problems I had with The Voice was that it was race-based, of course. It assumed that all Indigenous people were disadvantaged purely because of their heritage. How racist can you get? Aside from being incorrect, it often means that people of a certain race receive benefits that they don't need at the expense of those who are in genuine need, those who are disadvantaged, but of course have the wrong racial heritage to be helped. The truth is, you are not disadvantaged because of your race. And if we actually want to tackle disadvantage, we have to look beyond race. We have to find where the need actually exists. But truth-telling these days is often just a cover for a one-sided version of history. That's right. The truth is, both New Zealand and Australia have a complex and nuanced history. And we need to be able to have mature conversations about those histories, instead of using them to keep non-Indigenous people eternally guilty and Indigenous people bitter and unable to forgive. I see the threats that are lurking on the horizon of the West. Hamas, Hezbollah, powers like China, Russia and Iran are becoming bolder and more audacious in their attacks on the Western world, both physically and, of course, most certainly ideologically. And we can't hope to win any ideological or physical war in the West when we are teaching our kids, our future defence personnel, to be ashamed of their country, its history and, of course, its values. When I see and hear people like yourselves, New Zealand First, who are standing up for common sense, fighting against separatism and division, I truly am so encouraged. Where all people, whatever their heritage, are identified first and foremost as citizens of their shared homeland, united under one flag.